Hey, Steve Basic Architect. We're out here at our New Age Estate project. So this is a brand new construction project with Howell Custom Building Group. As you can see, we're putting in footings. So I figured we'd shoot a little bit. We'd talk a little bit about the footings. We'll talk a little bit about rebar, pump truck, all that good stuff. So we literally have concrete on the way. As you can see behind me, footings are in. Here in New England, we just use 2x12s as our formwork. You can see they have the cross bracing, steel cross bracing there to hold together. They have all of the reinforcing bars inside of it. And notice that there's actually 3 different levels. So we have the lowest level here. That's a media room. It's actually 2 feet below the main basement, which is a 9-foot elevation or 9-foot foundation wall. This is an 11-foot foundation wall down here for the media room. We'll have a set of stairs that go up. We have our 9-foot basement, which is that lower section, but it sneaks around the corner there to a little utility room in the back corner here. And then on the far side, you can see where we have the ground banking up. That goes up into a crawl space there. And the crawl space has, half the height of the walls. I think those are 5-footers over there. And then those 5-foot walls, they continue into the garage, which is the far space. You can't see a whole lot because the center is unexcavated, because we just need the trench around the garage. We want to be able to support that slab. So footings are going in. Typically in our footings, we call for 2 bars in the bottom, 2 number 5 bars, I believe. They call for a 30-inch lap joint and all of the corner pieces. Now, Howell Custom Building Group, they do things a little differently than a lot of builders. They actually send all this stuff out. We had shop drawings for all of the rebar and such. We get them back, review them, and then they basically send out the bundles here. So let's talk a little bit about that. I'm just gonna grab a piece here. Grab one of these. See if any of these are loose. Got some that are loose here. These appear to be number 5 bars. So the thing about reinforcing bars, first of all, the nomenclature, number 5 bar. Number 5 bar means that all reinforcing bars are measured in 1/8 of an inch. So a number 5 bar corresponds to a 5/8 inch. Number 4 bar, 4/8 or 1/2 inch. A 6/8 bar, 3/4 of an inch, and that is the diameter of the bar there. So all the bars, obviously, the thicker and bigger you get. In residential construction, I think the biggest we've ever used is maybe a number 8 bar on some large retaining walls that you really need to get some strength in. But also notice the surface of the bar is not smooth. It actually has this kind of knurled edge or raised edge, whatever you want to call it. But the reason for that is, as the concrete gets cast around it, the concrete will harden around it and it'll bite into each one of those nooks and crannies. And the whole reason you're putting reinforcing in is because concrete is exceptional in compression. If I try and squeeze concrete, it resists great. But if I took a 12-inch concrete brick that's say 2 inches by 2 inches and I bend it, it'll snap like a cracker on the bottom because concrete doesn't handle tension very well. Hence the marriage of reinforcing bars. The reinforcing bars can handle tension very, very well. But what you don't want to happen is you don't want the load to get imposed on the concrete footing to try and bend and have the bar sliding inside the footing. You want that bar to be very tightly gripped inside that footing so you can use the tension forces of the reinforcing bar to enhance the performance of that concrete footing, right? You're basically piggybacking on the reinforcement and using its strengths as an advantage to the weaknesses of a concrete footing. That's also why they're placed in the bottom of the footing, say 3 inches up from the bottom in a 12-inch footing, and they're not placed at the top, because the top of a footing, because of the way it bends, sees a lot of compression, where the bottom of the footing is obviously trying to bend there. And because it's trying to bend, there's the most tension at the bottom of the footing, hence why the bars go in the bottom of the footing. A couple other things that come out of this as we walk across here. For our slab work, we have some welded wire fabric. I know some of you might say, oh, we use fiber reinforced concrete or fiberglass. Howell still likes tried and true using the 6x6 welded wire fabric. So, over here, let's talk a little bit about the pump truck and the anatomy of a pump truck. So, in the back, we have this trough or grinder, but you can see this is where the concrete truck will back up into. It'll drop the concrete into there. This will constantly mix it, but it also has an auger which is putting pressure, and it's pushing the concrete into this pipe. And if we follow that pipe, you'll see it connects all the way, and then it comes out the elephant trunk, which is probably the last 12 feet of the pump. It's a flexible hose, so the guys can move it around very easily and swing it around as they're putting the concrete in to there. So, all right, why don't we, guys were nice enough to bring a chair. So what is a chair? So they cut these to the width of the footing, and you can see the concrete chair here. That is where the rebar will sit. So the bar sits right up on top of that, and that's how we develop that offset length. If we just took the rebar and dropped it into the footing and let it sit down at the bottom, then the bottom of the bar is not fully encased in concrete, right? It's kind of like if I took a bar and I cupped my hands and I put it in here versus fully gripping that bar, right? You want to fully grip it. So by putting the bar up here means that we can develop a total envelope of concrete around that. So why don't we break here? We're waiting on the concrete truck. We'll fire it back up as soon as the concrete truck arrives. All right, so concrete truck is here. Concrete is flowing. You can see it's filling up the trough there. Auger puts it in the pipe. Pipe sends it around the system. Now, the gentleman in the blue shirt here, he's got a waste control panel that actually controls the boom on the pump truck. And actually, we'll go around the corner here, Steve-Os. And you can see here, concrete's coming out of the boom. Now, the one thing to notice is understand how selective they are to start. We have a number of areas where we have a stepped footing, right? Where the footing goes out, becomes a vertical drop to a footing below. And that's what they're filling up first. Now, there's a method to this madness. The reason you fill those up first is because you want that concrete to settle just a little bit so then you could pour the footing up against it, and it aids in helping it as a dam to create those vertical surfaces in the step footing. So you always want to pour those first before you do any of the other areas. And notice, you know, they did it across there, there's two, and then over here we have a couple, and then they're going to take it down and we'll do those other sections there. But anyways, we're going to let these guys do their job. Hopefully you enjoyed that video. We can come back and we'll shoot one when they're putting up the wall panels. You'll see the footings all done. If you are a subscriber, thank you. Appreciate you joining in. If you're not a subscriber, smash that subscribe button and follow along. This is one of just a couple very exciting projects we have on the docket currently. So we'll be with this one for well over a year. Exceptional builder, Howell Custom Building Group, and my good friend Brian, who's the project manager. Exceptional, one of the best building minds out there that I know of. So anyways, I'm Steve Basic Architect. This is the New Age Estate. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Until next time, long live our building.